All right, it's now time for Interactive. Remember, you can catch premium sporting content by downloading the SportsMax app from the Google Play or the App Store. Well, after an evaluation from CONCACAF, they have decided to change the kickoff time of the World Cup qualifier between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic to 3:30 p.m. local time on Thursday. So what are persons saying on X? We have this one from, that name. Basically, the lights aren't fixed, therefore it's not up to FIFA standards. So to avoid a fine, the match has to be played earlier at a time when most persons have work. Keemstar, not the fault of the JFF, as they are not in charge of the upkeep of the stadium. Mikey, evidently CONCACAF doesn't care about fans. Alexander, we really need to do better. Dwyer, I don't see why the blame is directed at the JFF. JFF has no control of the upkeep of the national stadium. Well, we did hear from the JFF president, viewers. For those of you that saw that interview, we are clear that, it's not the purview of the JFF. However, I still do agree with the tweet that says we need to do better, because for quite some time we knew that these matches were coming up. We had ample time to get it rectified, and we sit here on the eve of a match and this is what we talk about. I wanted to sit here and talk about the team and some of the interviews that the players gave and all of that, but instead, as usual, we talk about something totally not related to
one contribution I didn't understand: CONCACAF doesn't care about the fans. I'm not sure where that comes from. CONCACAF and FIFA have guidelines as to what has to obtain for a match, and the venue didn't match that, or didn't, come up to the standard. So I don't understand why they would say CONCACAF doesn't care about the fans.
I know you're not like a social media person, but do you ever notice from time to time, because I see this cropping up a lot on my feeds on different social media platforms, like somebody will wake up today and just say, well, I'm just here, let me vent about some stuff. And they say that, like, today I just want to tell you all, and then they start like ranting off just random things. Some of these things make no sense at all.
Yes.
I get the idea, like this was one of that. Like, you just want to say something on the matter, but you like don't know what to say, so you just say something.
Well, based on what I see on social media from time to time, your story is very believable.
No man, they wake up and like, guys, I have to tell you something today, and then they just tell us all kind of things that are not related to anything. Anyways, can we move along? This is our interactive segment and not my venting segment. We have responses to Tuesday's segment about Mount Pleasant Sporting Director Paul Christie explaining why the club parted ways with head coach Theodore Tapper-Whitmore and his entire backroom staff. So we're going across to YouTube for this one. Ming says, he's saying a lot of nothing. He can't tell the reason to not renew Whitmore contract, even though he was the most successful coach. And then the user says the direction is down.
Wow.
One law, is Mount Pleasant the Jamaica's Chelsea? Well,
their owner Peter Gold is a big Chelsea fan. That's the only reaction I can give.
So that's why they're sacking everybody?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Because that's what they're trying to say there, Lance.
It seems
All right. Alcova. Basically, they won't be back in the final. Cavalier pattern they're aiming at. Mount Pleasant is a team that has shown so much promise. And I mean with their results, of course. It's not like just saying that. So again, just like the Reggae Boys, instead of us talking about the successful season, we're talking about the sacking of a coach. But as they say, Lance, sometimes you have to get rid of old things to get new things and positive things and all of that. So if we're trying to be positive in this situation, that's the only thing I can think about.
Yeah, one of the things I found shocking with Paul Christie yesterday, he suggested that the coaching staff had been advised 2 months before the season ended that their contract wouldn't have been renewed. And that's a tough one to digest.
And nothing to do with the results, because let's just say we won the JPL.
Yeah. I'm just saying that even the body language of the coaching staff and so on, I never heard them suggest, that they wouldn't be back. So that one is a little hard to digest, to be honest.
Well, the last thing I read was that they were having discussions to renew it, and then they pulled the plug. So to me, he say, she say, we had Paul Christie on yesterday. I don't know if we got all the questions answered.
We didn't.
Okay, well, thanks for clarifying that. The West Indies squad for the 3 tests against England in July has been announced, and this is how you cricket fans have been reacting. Narendra says, Chandapol had his chances, his last 10 test innings total, just over 100 runs. What about Imran Ali? As a Guyanese, Louis is a good choice. He deserves his place, especially making those runs against Guyana, who were eventually the winners against it. Again, Tej needs to score faster and come back strong. Hopefully this young man can grab this opportunity with both hands. Leon Rupnaraine, Amir Django should have been in the squad. He scored runs at an average of 100 and looked very solid while playing less games. Also, his first-class average is higher than a lot of the players chosen. What's the point of the regional first-class competition? To pick performers or perceived potential? Gawain says, very well deserved that selection by Mikhail. The man made a case for his selection and was duly rewarded. Tej needs to work on his confidence and come back. The talent is there, and we're taking a fairly young in terms of test experience squad to England. Wishing the boys all the best. Siobhan Fraser, he deserves it. Chandapol deserves to be dropped as a Guyanese. Very pleased West Indies cricket. And Lou Prudent, no surprise Chandapol was dropped. Needs to work on his technique intensely. Otherwise, pleased to see Seals back and raring to go. Still have immense faith in this young man. Otherwise, go bravely, Windies. Hafiz Hussain, Puran and Hope should be in that squad. Siobhan Fraser, Louis deserves it. Chandapol deserves to be dropped as Guyanese. Very pleased West Indies cricket. So I see those things and I just remember a video that was posted on West Indies cricket a few days ago leading up to the World Cup. And one of the things that Shimran Hetmaya said is, you know, he gets the most booed back home. And then I'm seeing all these Facebook comments from Guyanese saying that they're so elated that he's been dropped because, you know, he didn't perform the way they wanted. And that's the first thing that ran through my mind. But
yeah, a very well measured, you know, output there from our contributors, because it shows some level of unity, because we've spoken for decades about, you know, the parochial nature of our fans in the Caribbean. But there were several, from what I saw, there are several non-Kititians or non-Leeward Islands contributors welcoming and embracing the selection of Mikhail Louis,
yes,
who played so well. There was a Rupnaraine who thought that Django should have been in because he averaged the highest in the first-class season. Having played fewer matches than Mikhail Louis, Louis was the highest run scorer. Django was the highest on aggregate average. So I guess you'll have other chances, because there are times the selectors would want you to sort of consolidate your good performances with another good season of performances. But I think Mikhail Louis' efforts in the past first-class season was irresistible, especially since Tejaran Chandapol looked as if he had lost a bit of his form and needed to be replaced. And I think there is a general consensus that Mikhail Louis worked hard and deserves his spot.
Yeah, agreed, for sure. So, Lance, there's a Caribbean war about which country has the better KFC, Trinidad and Tobago or Jamaica. Well, Jareem Richards, our TNT sprinter, had this to say.
I would say, we always see the Caribbean battle between Trinidad and Jamaica with KFC. I would say, you all have the better barbecue chicken, but we have really good spicy chicken, better than yours. But I would say Jamaica KFC is really good too. I could see why we have a rivalry, because both of us have really good KFC. But let's take the barbecue chicken though, proper.
Proper. You know, I had a chat with him earlier today. He'll be my guest for this week's In Case You Missed It.
Yeah.
And he brought it up again, you know.
He did.
So clearly Jamaica KFC has left an impact on Jareem Richards. I've been eating Jamaica KFC for 5 years. I go home from time to time.
Yes.
I love, and I agree with him, I don't like barbecue, let me just say that. But I love a Trinidad spicy chicken. It's very different,
So what about the original? Who has the better original?
I never have original. It's not my thing.
Okay.
I don't plan to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's,
Does KFC pay us for this advert though?
no, but they better come on. No, they're a sponsor, aren't they? They sponsor from time to time, man.
I mean, they sponsor stuff on SportsMax as a channel, but not the Zone.
Well, they need to come on, because I can give you some more stories about KFC if only they would be one of our
But
sports
this
icons.
battle between KFC and Jamaica is real, though. KFC and Trinidad.
I don't know why,
and
though.
it just highlights the fact that KFC doesn't taste the same everywhere you go.
No, but I've said that so many times.
Yeah,
Travel to the US and eat KFC and see how you feel. As a Caribbean person who knows so much
a
about
lot of
seasoning.
Caribbean people who visit the USA and Canada feel that KFC in the Caribbean is better.
Anyways, if it's up to me, we talk about that for the rest of the show, but we have to do quickly with this one. So remember to catch our weekly build-up to the Olympic Games with Le Baton. The latest episode comes up immediately after the SportsMax zone, and I'm leaving you with a snippet of what you can expect from Donald Oliver and Ricardo Chambers. Enjoy your evening.
If, based on what we've seen so far this season, Lyles is off the podium, would it be surprising?
Surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if he's off the podium in the 100 meters. But somebody's going to have to get left off the podium. That's the simple truth. If you think about it, so last year, the top 4 at the World Championships, you had Noah Lyles winning, you had Letsile Tebogo finishing 2nd, you had Zarnel Hughes finishing 3rd, and Seville was 4th. You look at how close that race was, mere hundredths of a second separating these athletes. Then you understand that coming from last year, there is not a lot in it.